We're wanting to start, I wanted to start this group to basically gather Christian creative people together and make an impact on the world. And I've just noticed, like, for some, I thought it was coincidental reason, but I know now that it's definitely God has brought all these, I'm totally gonna cry, but has brought, yeah, we have tissue, yeah. Has brought all these awesome creative people into my life. And it's funny because there for a while I was like almost jealous, and probably about 3 months ago, God really showed me that instead of being jealous, that He has put these people in my life, and He's shown me like the beauty of each and every one of y'all to encourage you, because I see the potential and the beauty in all of you. So He's given me that gift to see that so that I can encourage people instead of using that as a form of jealousy, but turning it back to good in what God is doing. And as far as like being envious too, like there's other people that are further along in their walk and in their path that sometimes I would be envious about, and I was like, God showed me that is basically giving me a sense of hope of like what He's gonna do further down the road. So using that as fuel instead of envy. So those were some things that God like really broke in my heart and started opening up this possibility for this to happen. And so through that, He showed me that a couple years ago, and even as far back as when I was like 16, He had given me a vision that He was going to use me to help spread His name through art, that I was going to like burst a bubble of people through art, and just showing God through that. So I put that on the back burner for a long time, and I was like, I'm not good enough, I'm not ever going to be in a place where I can make an influence. And finally God's just like, exactly, you aren't, and especially not without me. And so over this last year, He's definitely brought a lot of healing and just, again, change. That's just only He could have done. And because of that, I'm super excited to be able to start partnering with other people and like really collaborating together despite our denominations or churches or whatever it is, to just make God known. So in that, I was praying yesterday and I was like, God, what is the mission statement that you have for this group? Like, what are you wanting to accomplish? And I felt like He was saying to make God known through community, creativity, and real life stories. Again, I'll say it again without trying to cry.
Well, let it out.
Right. So to make God known through community, creativity, and real life stories. And then the vision statement was to create a community of Christians using their gifts and talents together to make God known. So the basic like idea of all of this is to just really spread the word and just make it to where He's known, and that we all start coming together as a body of Christ instead of separating ourselves. And I think if we can all start coming together, like what an impact we can start making.
Because that's totally different in what the normal art world is. Like they call it a community here, like in Austin, which I think Austin for me so far has been like the best art kind of community where people kind of want to help you, but nothing like what I think a Christian artist should be.
Right.
Where you truly are not afraid to share your expertise and things that, God has showed you. Whereas like here I found, okay, so I'm an illustrator and I need to get some cards printed. Nobody wants to tell you that, who their printer is.
Right.
And I think, why? What are we so worried about?
Right.
If God's given you something, why are we afraid somebody's going to try and steal it?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I could draw something and you could draw something, and it would be totally different.
Yeah.
Even if we were like had the same theme, which we'll talk about later that I want to try to do. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I think because of we have been so influenced by the world, we think we can't cooperate with each
Yeah.
other, because if we do, then they're gonna steal this thing that we're doing,
And you'll no longer be on that top of that ladder.
and it won't be about you anymore, because it's about God. As each one of you has received a gift, minister it to one another as good stewards of the manifold of grace of God. If anyone speaks, let him speak as the oracles of God. If anyone ministers, let him do it with the ability which God supplies, that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom belong the glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So with that one, I wanted us to ask, I think it was this one, this question. Mom, if you want to read it out.
What gifts has God given you, and how can you use them?
So I wanted us to go around the room and kind of share one, if not more, gifts you feel like God has given you. And what was the other question?
And how can you use them?
How can you?
Yeah.